Hello, happy Black Friday and happy day 24 of our Thankful for 30 challenge. Today we are going to talk about less is more.
I know it's nothing new, but it's so good to see you.
So when I come to this, obviously it is Black Friday. So you may be in the mind of shopping and getting all the deals and getting all of your Christmas shopping done or whatever that might look like. And I know we talked about this some. We started out this entire series talking about the more mentality and getting away from that. And I kind of just want to reiterate that a little bit more and then take it a step further and really talk about the whole concept of less is actually more. So what I mean by that is I know for me, when it comes to the holidays, when it comes to other people showing their love, their care, all of that for me through giving, oftentimes it is the things that people spend less on but meant more from their heart instead of going and spending more money and just wrapping it up really quick and giving it to me, buying it 30 minutes before I saw them, that kind of a deal. A lot of times it is the less is more situation that ends up making me feel so much more valued, so much more appreciated, and so much more actually cared for. Now, this is something that, I try to take into account whenever I'm also doing gift giving. And one of my absolute favorite things to give family members is something that's a bit more meaningful. So a lot of times what we will do, like when we got married, we gave our wedding photos. Now, granted, we got married in October, so it was only a couple months later. And by the time I got my wedding photos back, it was basically Christmas time, so no one had really gotten them yet. But we gave wedding photos to family members. That's something that all of those people would have wanted anyway. And it was a great opportunity for us to give that to them, something that they would have wanted, something that is meaningful for them that they can now hang in their house or they can put in their photo album or wherever they want to put it. And so a lot of times something like that can mean so much more. I know, for example, not even like related to Christmas or anything, but when my nieces and nephews get their school pictures taken and they have, their little pictures that you used to hand out when you were in school to your friends, whatever, I love getting their little pictures. They immediately go onto my fridge. If they have sports pictures, same thing. That means so much more to me than getting some sort of a gift. Instead, I have this picture of them that I can now look at and I can see they're another year older and all of that. And that is so special to me. And technically that is a less is more type of gift because they were already getting the school pictures done. Their parents, my brother or sister or brother-in-law or sister-in-law, whoever, ordered a package of pictures, cut them up, and then handed them out. So they didn't spend a ton of money per se on that one picture that they gave me, but it means so much more to me than just some random gift that they would have gotten at the store, right? And sometimes those gifts at the store are super meaningful. It could be something that is super, super meaningful. But as we're heading into this holiday season, as we are headed into shopping and all of that, I just want to encourage you to not feel like you have to spend and spend and spend and spend to buy the love of those that maybe you're spending money on, right? The people in your life love you for you, and they actually love you for just the simple things that you bring to the table, which is your energy, your personality. If you're more of a funny person, like your sense of humor might be something they appreciate more. Or maybe you're somebody who kind of is the neutral between arguments that often break out or whatever that looks like. So with that being said, that's something just to keep in mind. They want you, just like we talked about in yesterday's video, those meaningful conversations, those connections that you can make with people at these gatherings that aren't actually all about the food. I know we make it all about the food, but it's not actually all about the food. It's about the quality time. It's about the relationships. It's about spending that time with others, caring about the other people in our lives. There are statistics. I have learned a lot over the last year of statistics of people feeling lonely. And honestly, with inflation, with so many things, people are broke. So they're lonely already, and then they feel like they have to buy people's love, but they can't afford it because they can't afford it. So then they feel even more lonely, and then they feel guilty, and then they feel bad, and all of these things. And it's just this terrible cycle, this vicious cycle. So instead, if we could really, really focus on spending time with others so that that loneliness piece starts to get taken care of, if you will, and then not focusing on buying the perfect gift or spending all of this money, but instead on just really cultivating those relationships that we have, that is going to be so much more meaningful this holiday season than nearly any gift that you can give, right? So I just wanted to share that today in the event that you are headed out for a day of shopping and you're feeling so stressed and so anxious and just all of this. I want to encourage you to instead view it in a way of, you don't need the perfect gift, but instead, what is something that you could do that's really meaningful that actually ultimately comes down to less is more? You caring, you genuinely putting in some heartfelt thought behind something is going to mean so much more to somebody than you buying some expensive gift. It just is. You know, sometimes those gifts they're a physical representation of, I took the time to give something to you. But honestly, those things are fleeting. Like, it's exciting for a little bit, but then it disappears. Like, if you've ever gone to a store with a little kid, for example, my niece is 2.5 years old right now and is a prime example of this. We'll go to the store and she's like, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And sometimes I'm like, okay, you can get this. By the time we get home, she's already forgotten about whatever that is. Meanwhile, in the store was like, I want this. And like, absolutely, you know, nearly like throwing a fit, if you will, about wanting this gift so much, right? But then by the time you get home, they forgot they've even gotten it. That's a prime example of something where it's like, they didn't actually care that much about that. But you know what my niece does care about and what she loves to do with me every time that I watch her? We read books. We read books, and that is something that I hope she will forever associate with me. And the time that we spent together was that we read books together. We spent time growing our minds, reading books, having that. That is a prime example of less is more, because I'm not getting her gifts every single time she comes, but we are reading new books and we are doing that together, and we are building and cultivating that relationship with each other as an aunt and a niece getting to do that. That's what's special to me. Getting to go to my nephew's football games, I'm not necessarily giving them anything, but I'm there, I'm showing up. And so that's another prime example of something where, you know, I'm not spending a ton of money, but me being there, me spending time, me showing that showing up is important and that I want to be there to support them. That is another prime thing. And I know growing up for me, those were really, really big things. When I look back, I don't necessarily remember a lot of presents or things that I got, but what I do remember are different family members because they took time to spend time with me, get to know me, do fun things. And that's how I want to be too, whether that be with nieces and nephews or cousins or aunts or uncles or parents or siblings or my spouse or whatever. So that's my messaging for you today. Less is more. And I hope that you, as you head out and safely travel around for Black Friday, that you can kind of keep that in mind and let yourself remove the stress about all these gifts and buying and spending for the holidays, and instead come up with some more meaningful things that you can do versus buy, and ultimately represent that less is more option. So hope that makes sense. I will see you in tomorrow's video where we only have, 5 videos left? That's crazy. All right, see you.